and welcome back to the TGP Wrestling Podcast, but more specifically, Wrestling Coffee. Now, just before I press record here, I have been going at Kyle about wrestling. Not to Kyle about him, just about wrestling, because I'm so angry. And Kyle just said, "Why are you TikTok clip aura farming, right? Whilst we're not recording, just press record because you just like going at me, right?" So wrestling therapy never really caught on in TGP, but this is partly that. This is everything TGP have ever done just in one episode. So it's either going to be really good or really bad. But before we get into wrestling, can we just keep it calm and talk about coffee for just like 30 seconds, just so I don't like blow a
Have you
fuse in
got
my
a
brain?
sponsored segment? Is it?
No, I
Is
don't.
it happening?
No, I'm drinking a Wittard's coffee today.
Wow, peak, absolute
Yep.
peak. Wrestling coffee.
I've got a Wittard's loyalty card actually, and I had £6 on it today, and I was quite happy with. So this
Bro, you
episode is
shouldn't
sponsored
be.
by Wittard. Could you imagine a worse charity part sponsor for us? Could you imagine Wittard's if anyone doesn't know that's in America potentially, because we actually analytically wise do get American listeners on this, so I don't know how it's got over there. Wittard's is quite a posh tea shop from Chelsea originally, which is in London. To have a wrestling podcast be part of part of their global empire or UK empire would be pretty special.
You're one weird lad. Sometimes I can't believe you've just spent 5 minutes yelling at me, essentially
Yelling, yeah,
screaming
yelling,
at me, and now you've
yeah.
spent the first 2.5 minutes talking about a fake sponsor.
I've got to do things like this to calm myself down, Kyle, because that's how angry I am. I am raging.
You are keeping yourself cohesive. I was really worried about you when we started this podcast episode because you were losing it.
I
I
think
felt like
TGB
I
had
was like losing you to the rage.
that. I think we were at danger of TGB headquarters just getting burned down and me just like announcing that wrestling is no longer wrestling and just completely spiraling. So but if you that sounds good to you as a listener or a watcher, that's still going to happen right now. So let's get into this. Now, the reason I'm so angry, and Kyle pointed out the irony of me going after the IWC, right? So, and this is a very IWC coded podcast, really. But these are my issues with wrestling at the minute. I would say wrestling, I mean WWE, because I don't watch AW very often. When they have a big pay per view, I'm not going to watch it live. I'll watch it the day after. Right. I don't have an issue with AEW. I don't have an issue with New Japan or TNA or Ring of Honor or whoever. Right. This is about WWE. But do we call them WWE anymore? Because what's the point? It's not World Wrestling Entertainment, are they? They're just PKO. That's all this is anymore. That's the issue I have, and that's what we're talking about today. Now I'm going to talk about WrestleMania Night One. We're going to talk about it as a whole. So, just a quick thing that me and Kyle have looked at before we start recording. I say me and Kyle, I mean me, and I've just spouted it to Kyle. But you can buy WrestleMania Night One tickets for $120 right now. Now, I've looked for the past couple of years, and that's not that uncommon, right? Tickets are available on, for WrestleManias and stuff. But there's quite a lot of tickets available for Night One and for Night Two. And WWE actually reduced them to actually get them to a point where people might want to buy them. And there's still loads of tickets left. So if you're in the Vegas area or you are on that side of America, you could probably go to WrestleMania for probably $50 on the day because they'll just be chucking them away. So, you know, that's good. That's positive for you if you want to go and watch some wrestling or not wrestling at this point. Let's have it right. So let's talk about WrestleMania Night One because I have less of an issue with Night Two. Not, I still have some issues with it, but less of an issue. Kyle, the first two matches on the card are going to be on ESPN2, right?
Hmm.
So ESPN is a sports network in America, and we can stop calling this anything even remoting to wrestling and sport anymore because this is just entertainment. This should be on, I don't know, what's like MTV. What do Americans have that's like a channel that's just not E? They used to put Total Bellas on E. This should be on E. It's not wrestling anymore, is it? First match of the night: Logan Paul and I Show Speed with Austin Theory against the Usos in LA Knight. The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and they're opening the card against I Show Speed, who is I don't know what the fuck he is. He's just a guy, is he? Right? And Logan Paul against. Oh, but Logan Paul's a really good wrestler. Logan Paul is an athlete. Logan Paul is someone that wrestled in college and stuff. Like he's not a it like good wrestler means what nowadays? Oh, he can do some flippy shit, he's quite good. Great, great. Oh, yeah, let's give him a title as a wrestler. He's not a wrestler, is he? He's a numpty with a following. That's all he is. He doesn't like. Why do we like basically talk ourselves into Logan Paul being on the WrestleMania card? What, just because? Because he's quite good at it. Who cares? Who anyone that's athletic could have a passable level of wrestling. It really isn't that deep. I don't understand that argument. I Show Speed might be all right at wrestling, but if you did some chain wrestling, would he be good at that? No, neither would Logan Paul. He could do the flippy shit. Oh, he's got a good physique. He's charismatic. He's just a twat. Or is that charismatic now? He's just a knobhead. He's got loads of charisma because he's a knobhead. I mean, like, is this what we're doing? Is this what wrestling is in 2026? We just justify ourselves that some random guy that's got a following gets to just be on the WrestleMania card. And we're all just going to sit here and justify it. Guy, you have to calm me down because this is just
I'm gonna
level
be
me
real
out.
with you.
Play devil's advocate with me.
Um, you're an old man yelling at the clouds. Uh, Logan Paul is a twat, but he is good at his job. Like, just straight up, his promos are alright. His wrestling capability, you might not seem to like it, but I think it's absolutely fine. I think there are far worse wrestlers in the company than Logan Paul. Um, I Show Speed. I think that I Show Speed would be absolutely fine if there just wasn't so many random people in that aren't wrestlers in like the Mania card, because it's stacked full of them. And I do get your point when you're questioning why on earth is I Show Speed in a tag team match against like legendary tag team the Usos on a WrestleMania card. It doesn't make sense, and it probably shouldn't be on the card. But it's not the most outrageous thing they're doing, because at the end of the day, it's like a it's just supposed to be an entertaining match. You're supposed to just have a bit of fun with it. It's not like it's a main event or a really high level feud.
So, okay, I can calm myself down a little bit by admitting to one thing already because I already feel like this would be the pushback I'm going to get. In entertainment, you have to put bums on seats, right? Vince McMahon and his dad, way back in the day, has always gone through this. That's why they had Mr. T involved. That's why there's Cindy Lauper involved, right? WWE has always had celebrities, always, and always will. And that in itself, I have no issue with because you need to put people in the building, right? And you need to get the casual because WWE cares most. And it's not an opinion; it's just fact to me. WWE cares more about the casual viewer than the hardcore, staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning watching Roadblock type viewer, right? They care about the casual viewers. They care about pop culture, and they want to be, that's where they want to be. And WrestleMania to them is just a big pop culture event where casual viewers can come and watch WrestleMania and probably be the only wrestling they watch all year. So I understand that point, and I understand that Logan Paul has a massive following. I understand that Logan Paul is athletic and is a passable wrestler in the ring. I don't agree that there's no that he's better than some people on the roster because I think that it's it's how you quantify wrestling ability. I think Logan Paul is talented as an athlete, and I think he'd be quite talented at a lot of different things. One of them wasn't boxing, by the way, but that's by the by. That's up to him, innit, really. But I don't get this I should speed stuff. Look, I was being a bit facetious with I should speed. I do know who he is clearly, right? I've seen a lot of the stuff he's done, whatever, and fair play to him. He's done very well for himself. And WWE are going to cash in and going to hold on to anything that might make them a little bit of extra money or get more eyes on the product. We could have a whole different episode of talking about them doing Saudi Arabia because again, that's something I'm vehemently against. But they're not the only ones that do that, and they understand that. And you're seeing it throughout lots of different places at the moment, like Sky Sports, who have this. Carl probably doesn't know because he doesn't really care, but like there's this thing called Baller League, which is basically a load of YouTubers that have got their own teams, and it's broadcast on Sky Sports on a Monday night. It's stuff like this. It's not just WWE. It's not. And I'm not sitting here and saying that it's just WWE because lots of industries and lots of companies are suffering with this. Well, I say suffering, but buying into this at the minute, getting influencers, getting YouTubers, getting people to sort of come in and do things. I have no issue with IShowSpeed being in WWE. I have no issue with Logan Paul being in WWE at all. And them having a one-off match, you know, I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's wrestling. They've always done that. Floyd Mayweather had a match against Big Show at WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if like we haven't seen these things before. But I think, and this is maybe just me as a purist wrestling fan, that WrestleMania should be a combination of the talent throughout the year that have been done the house shows, that have done all the matches on Raw and SmackDown and main event and everything, NXT, whatever you want to be. WrestleMania should be a culmination of that calendar year to be like, right, this is it. This is our end of year 2025 year going into 2026 year, right? This is it. This is the pinnacle. So yes, matches being taken up by people that are undeserving and unnecessary does frustrate me, and it always will. I understand WWE's point perspective and their point of view with influencers and social media, and I get that. But I just think that when you're giving matches like this to people that's so undeserving and so unwarranted, it really, really frustrates me. And look, the Usos might not care because they may look at it and go, "Well, we're on the WrestleMania card." LA Knight might not care because he's like, "Well, I'm on the WrestleMania card." But in their heart of hearts, do you think this is what they want to do? Do you think this is what they want to be doing? Or do you think that they're just happy that they're on the card and it is what it is? That's just the match they've been given.
I would say it does devalue the seriousness of the match. You can't really take it that seriously because Speed ain't doing anything. Like he's gonna do some cool spots. It's gonna be entertaining, but it is what it is. You like if you really love the Usos or really love like serious, like high quality on the mat wrestling, it's just not the match. It's just not the match to watch for you. But I guess that's WrestleMania. The whole idea of WrestleMania is they've always had lots of different types of matches for lots of different types of viewer, and this is just the kid match essentially. I guess it's the one that the kids are gonna love.
And that look, this is not new, right? This is not a new thing that WWE just started doing. They've done it for years, and I completely understand that. And WrestleMania, like I say, is a pop culture event. It's not a wrestling show. It's a pop culture event, and that has always been the case. And I'm not, and it's not just that I'm bothered about. We're talking about WrestleMania because it's coming up this weekend. I think that TKO's transition into just be basically saying that we are not really a wrestling product anymore. That's more that's the larger issue. I'm talking about WrestleMania because that's what's coming up, but I don't feel like WWE is wrestling anymore. I don't think it's a wrestling product anymore. I think that they're more bothered about clicks and interactions on social media than they are about actually putting on good wrestling. And I think what they've done with night one is they basically looked at night one and gone, that's night one's for your casual viewer, your pop culture or whatever, and night two is for people that actually give a shit about wrestling. So I'm not saying that's like completely true, but like to the point. on a night one, they just decide to chuck in a couple of like matches that you look at and go, okay, that should be a really good match, or that should be a match that is probably more for us wrestling fans. So I get it. I get that they have to cater to a lot of different people in these scenarios, and I understand that. But I think my biggest issue is that I am falling out of love with this product, and as wrestling, as WWE. I find it hard to do these podcasts because I just don't want to talk about wrestling at the minute. I'm watching SmackDown and Raw, and I'm just like, it feels like a slog to watch it. I think the build to the feuds have been very disappointing because, and I think this is where I have an issue as well. I don't know if you agree with this, but how many matches on night one and night two can you genuinely say the build's been really good to this? And I think the build is hurt by those because too much TV time is wasted on other things that don't matter. I think that hurts the build.
Um, let me think. Okay, so as like a just a complete vibe, um, Fatu versus Drew is the gonna be probably the best thing on the show. Um, which is ironic because if we're being real, it's a match that doesn't matter at all. We know that Drew's probably gonna lose because
Drew's
he's very
definitely going to
old.
lose.
Um, but it's just been a good build, bro. It's just been a good build. Stephanie versus Liv is fine. I don't mind it. Like I think it's a lot better build than Jade versus Rhea. But I've got a lot of thoughts on Jade versus Rhea actually, and
Stephanie versus Liv
it's similar.
actually I think is one of the best builds of WrestleMania weekend. I think they've built this quite well,
Yeah,
so I don't have an issue with that. Drew and Jacob, I just think is like
Seth
they've
versus
got
Gunther's pretty exciting actually.
I think they put Seth versus Gunther on to appease wrestling fans, quote unquote. They just said like, oh, let's have a good match on the card that will just be a good match.
Dog, I'm gonna be real with you. Looking at this card, this this is a good Mania. What are we on about? Like it's a
Take
good Mania, but like the the most popular things about the Mania are like just so unbelievably cringe. I think
yeah,
that's
but
the issue.
yeah, but it's also how they bill it. Like, okay, so let's take away the stupid celebrity match that's opening the show, right? Fine. If you want to do that, fine. I can make peace with it. Drew versus Jacob. It'll be a really fun match, but Jacob's going to win because Drew's going, right? It's all public knowledge. We all know that. So that element of it's out. The women's tag team fatal four way. I have so many opinions about the women's tag team belts, mainly that they've just completely it's a mess, right? It's a mess of a good idea. So
It's
I
always
just
been a mess.
it has always been a mess, but I just think that I'm meant to get hyped for this. Like if Bailey and Lyra win, that'd be nice. But I'm
Nah,
not
dog,
really.
you're not meant to get hyped for it. Like, if we're being
You'd be
real,
meant to get
none of
hyped for
them
everything,
really
aren't
got
you?
super hyped. Yeah, on paper, but it's never been like that. There has always been the piss break matches. That's just how it is. And unfortunately, the women's tag has always been for me the piss break match because it's always just felt like a bit of a mess of a division. Um, look, I'm. It, can I just ask you, genuine opinion? Would you let me just ask you each match and just your vibe? You don't need to like super go deep, but like just your
Yeah,
vibe because you seem to really hate Mania right now.
I really
And
hate
I agreed
WWE
with
right
you
now.
when you started talking to me about it, but now I'm looking at the matches and I'm thinking like these are exciting. Like I'm actually excited to watch these matches. Like obviously we talked about the tag, we talked about Drew. You say Liv, Stephanie's like pretty decent. AJ Becky, I don't think
You
that's
know
kind of
that.
like
Yeah, but you know that I'm the biggest Becky Lynch fan there is, right? But this match has happened numerous times before. AJ has always got the upper hand. AJ's a part timer. Becky's going to win the match. It, it- the- if you can look at the match and just be certain who's going to win, it's just like, well, okay. the match could be fine, and the match will be fine. They're both very good in the ring, but it was just, you know, it's happened so many times before that I'm meant to get really excited about it.
Yeah, the
And then you've
best
got
matches are the ones that you don't know who's going to win
Seth
because both
Gunther.
people could win.
Yeah,
Seth Gunther, I feel like we know who's going to win,
well, Gunther's going to win, but I think it's
right?
more of a
Yeah.
yeah, Gunther will win, but I think it's more of a case of like it'll be a good wrestling match. But I can't say I'm dead excited about it. I'm like it's there. It'll be a good match. There's no doubt it'll be a good match. But like Gunther's going to
Yeah,
win. Like maybe I'm being harsh. And tell me I'm being harsh if I am. But it's
I
so
think
heavily
that
predictable.
this is basically what it comes down to, isn't it? It's there isn't a lot of excitement for this Mania, but I do think it's full of good matches on paper. It's just that the builds are not great for most of them. It's like it's just so good on paper, but it feels like they've been doing stuff wrong on these Raw and SmackDowns, especially with the celebrity stuff. Why is Pat McAfee there? Why am I seeing Jelly Roll on my screen at all? Um,
But
Obo
I think
versus
that
Brock
hurts
has
the
been
build.
like interesting, but yeah, they just dropping the ball on a lot of these feuds. Jade versus Rhea is honest to God one of the biggest drop-ins of the ball I've ever seen from someone that I absolutely trusted to never drop the ball.
Yeah, completely agree. It's a match that should be really people should be really excited for that just aren't because
Mm,
again, this is the larger issue. You could put and the perfect example of this is Nakamura versus Styles at Mania. Do you know
mm,
before that happened, that was like, oh my god, that's gonna be amazing. Like two of the best wrestlers in the world, like they had like the New Japan feud, all that sort of stuff. This will be incredible, and it wasn't because of the build and because of the way that how much time they gave them for the match. You can put whoever you want in the ring, and that's why that's why I think, and you might correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I think you've looked at the card and gone, objectively, these are quite good matches. I like this person. I like this person. I'm looking forward to seeing their match. But without a build and without the correct placing on, that sort of thing, I don't see that you can be like, oh, that's going to be incredible. Like Finn Balor versus Dom. I would be really excited for this. I'm a massive Finn Balor fan. I think that this feud's been coming for a really long time. But one, I don't think there's a stipulation on it. So it's just a singles match, which
yeah,
seems odd. And two, you've already announced that Finn's going to come out as the demon. Why would you announce
yeah.
it? Why would you pre-announce that? Like, what have you gained by pre-announcing it? I don't think you've gained anything. What? 10 more people are going to be in the stadium, or 10 more people are going to watch it because it's the demon? No, obviously not. So what? Why? I don't see the point. I don't see the point announcing that. So you've almost kind of ruined that moment. Sammy versus Trick again, two people objectively that I like in a match together for the US title, but there's no bit so it's a SmackDown match. Am I meant to be really excited for it? Like if Trick wins and has an amazing US title run, sure. But would you not care more if it was Carmelo Hayes against Trick? People that have actually got a history together, the people that actually you could have built a feud out of. It's just randomly Sami Zayn with the belt. That's how it feels to me. And it's like I just objectively good people in good matches, but with zero build is just not going to be exciting.
I think that so okay to make any good like feud, you need each person to have a good performance. You need to have some decent backstory or reasoning behind it, and you just need a booker who is going to book sensibly. And I feel like in every single one of these matches that I'm seeing, it's like either someone is underperforming, like in these promos, or the booking's weird and the idea doesn't make sense, or it's just not an entertaining, like it's just not an interesting idea that they've come up with. Like Rhea Jade, I think Rhea's underperforming like shit. Like I think this might be one of the worst Rhea promo performances I've seen as a run. Jade's eating a roll, in my opinion, and like that's Jade Cargill. How's Jade Cargill eating you up? Like that's not how it's supposed to be. Um, Sammy Trick, I think Sammy's doing fine. I think Trick's doing fine. But like you said, this is a this is a SmackDown match. We must have seen this match at least a few times by now. Um, and it's just on paper, it's not that interesting. Dom versus Finn. They've announced the demon. Why would you do that? Like, why on earth would you do that? It's ruined the moment. We know, we know Finn's not going to lose as the demon versus Dom.
No.
So it's just it makes the match worse by announcing it. Punk versus Reigns. They keep getting Punk to say weird shit. And I say they make him say weird shit. Punk has always said weird shit sometimes. Like everyone thinks he's like the goat of promos, and sometimes he is, but sometimes he's also sometimes he misses the mark by such a huge margin that I'm like, what is this guy doing?
So if we talk about both main events, then just because I think both main events have issues. So
Yeah,
Punk Roman, I think your biggest issue with this is that one, the whole builder. Oh, I hate you, Punk. Do you? Since when? You decided you wanted him to help you at Elimination Chamber. Then you're like, wow, oh, well, I asked you to help me and you disrespected me. But you said you've always hated him. So either you've always hated him or you've only hated him since he did that. Like, that's really inconsistent. And then you've got the whole Punk saying about, oh, I'm going to bury you next to your dad. It's just not relevant. And like, I understand saying things for shock value, saying things for clips, saying things to be like, oh, this is going to go viral because he said that he wants to like bury him next to his dad. That's really personal. But like we said off air, although Roman's dad was a wrestler and was a former tag team champion in WWE, I think he's had one appearance with Roman
mm.
off the top of my head, one appearance. It's not, it doesn't feel overly relevant. And we talked about this off camera of like, if he was feuding with Cody and said something about Dusty, it would hit home very deep, right? And it would be quite, because Cody's whole persona, his whole personality is around his,
He's a daddy's boy.
even the name and stuff, like the American Nightmare, American Dream, it's all, he's got Dream tattooed on his chest. He is kind of just like, that's his whole thing. Whereas Roman, are you hurting Roman Reigns by saying that? Your dad's dead. He's like, yeah, I know. It felt like a weird comment, and then he comes out and he cuts a promo like, "Oh, the ticket prices are too high." Okay, okay, man of the people. Like, why does that? So it's not your responsibility, mate. You're still getting paid the same. Let's not pretend like you give a shit about the ticket prices. But why would you? Like,
And like, let's be
and what's that
real.
got to do with Roman Reigns?
Yeah, let's be real. Instead of complaining about the ticket prices, brother, how about you make the quality of the product that you are selling, because that is something you can influence. How about you just make that better instead of just using your time that you should be building a feud, complaining like, brother, what?
Like,
You're making
how?
it worse. You're making the tickets less valuable because you just sat there complaining.
Like, how far are we off like someone cutting a promo and being like, "Oh, I fucking hate Roman Reigns." But first, let me tell you about State Farm. So State Farm, like how far are we off that at this point? When you just sat there in your promo, yeah, I do hate Roman Reigns, but you know what else is shit? The ticket prices.
I hate the
but
government right now. It's like it's
that's what he said about
brother.
Pat as well. He slates
Yeah,
Pat for being a Trump supporter. What's Pat got to do with you?
you
You feuded
forgot
with
what
Roman
that
Reigns
draws
on the
from.
other show. Like it's just so yeah. Okay, I'm like relatively happy to see this match because I like Punk, I love Roman, like, but other than
It's a
that,
downgrade
it's a
from last year. Like it's
yeah, like
actually
you
just
said
a
when
downgrade from last year.
you said this off camera, it's a worse version of last year's match. Like, so why
Because
should
at
we
least
care as
last
much?
year had like so much story in it as well. Like the story was better. It had Seth. I love Seth. Like he makes everything he is in a million times better. And now it's just Punk being like, it's like he doesn't care about the feud. It's like he just wants to complain about stuff.
it
It's
kind of
crazy, I know,
feels,
man.
it feels like Punk's just like, yeah, this is the guy that I'm defending against, so I must care for that reason. And then Roman's like, I hate you, and Punk's like, well, I don't hate you. I thought we were friends. What do you mean you hate me? I thought we were buds. Like,
And of course, as a Roman Reigns lover, I get his viewpoint. I think he's actually illustrated it good enough that it makes sense. Because he has always kind of hated Punk. Like that has actually been a thing. He has kind of always hated Punk. Um so at War Games, there was tension. And that was cool.
yeah.
And I'm glad that they finally like have something to go off of. But it's like when you're talking to someone who isn't really bothered about the conversation you're in, and they keep just like looking around like, yeah, 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 and like you can tell they're not interested. And that's what it feels like Punk's doing in this in this feud, and it's crazy. And
If Punk, go on.
it's not just Punk. It feels like this sentiment is just fucking everywhere. Like Pat McAfee, I think his promos have actually been fire. I like them. I think
But he
they're
obviously can
weird and
talk.
like goofy, but why is he cutting a promo on Cody Rhodes in Cody Rhodes' feud with long historied like friend slash mentor Randy Orton?
But you just said there, that's what the feud. It was already there.
Yeah,
You know, legacy and all this sort of stuff. It was already there. Well, why? You don't even have to do. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to build it yourself. You don't even have to like. All you have to do is go. Oh, do you remember they were in Legacy? Like, and let them run with that. That's so easy. It's so easy. But instead, you're like, oh, Pat McAfee's there now.
yeah.
Why?
It feels like everyone is underperforming, other than I think Gunther Seth is fine. I think there was not a story going into it, and I think they're doing the best they can with that.
They wanted them
Um,
both on the card, and
yeah,
that's what this feels
it
like to
was
me. They
like a
wanted them
they
both on the
just needed
card.
to fit it in, and it's fine. Um, I do like the idea that everyone's saying Ray was injured until Gunther had a match, and now he's like, "Oh, actually, you know what, guys, I can do the ladder match as long as you're not putting me against Gunther." Um, but everyone's underperforming other than the Ober Brock feud, the Fatu Drew feud, and if we can, if we can probably say probably the Stephanie Liv feud. Everyone else, I feel like, is underperforming, or like the match isn't that important to the show in general.
Like the Ober Brock feud, just to quickly touch on that as well. This is a Brock Lesnar feud, right? I have no issue with it because this is what Brock Lesnar's feuds have always been. Here's this new guy that might be able to take me off my throne. Will he? Well, let's see. But that's fine because that's always what Brock feuds have been. And hopefully this, if I'm booking this match, I have Ober squash him in 2 minutes. And people might say, "Oh, that's disappointing and stuff. You want them to have a really good match and go back and forth." I really don't mind if they. I mean, if they do that, fine. But like, make Ober like this big established star. Just have him absolutely roll Brock over. I'd be fine with that. Like, but
Like I
but
think, go on.
they don't have to build this that much because everybody
Yeah,
knows what to expect with a Brock Lesnar match. So they have the luxury with this match in particular that they don't have to do a lot with it because we all know what. If I asked you to describe a Brock Lesnar feud, you would describe what they've done with Ober because that's what they've done every time, pretty much.
for sure. I think that this Ober Brock feud, uh, despite it being something that I would normally despise, I say to Corey every week. I think the way that the like general manager plus staff interact with the show is cringe, and I actually hate it. Because it's like three times a show. They come out, they try and separate people. Oh no, don't fight each other. Not not on this fighting show. Like don't do that. And it's like, brother, just stop. They just look incompetent. They don't look They don't make the wrestlers look powerful. They just make themselves look incompetent, and it just gets in the way.
Do you know at one
Um,
point they did that so sparingly that it actually did work, and it actually did
yeah,
enhance a
yeah, like
feud.
Brock Cena.
Yeah,
But now they do it
Re-
once a show, if not multiple times a show,
genuinely more probably. Yeah, a few times a show.
and it's just cringe. But I will say, despite that, Brock Lesnar over Femi, when Oba picked him up for a power bomb, I genuinely it's one of the few times in wrestling in recent memory where I went, holy shit, what the fuck? That's crazy. Like that is a freak of nature strength. He is just he is essentially just like pop up power bombed Brock Lesnar.
It was the guy, man. There's a lot of
Oba
love for
is the
Ober on this
guy.
show. Like, there's a lot of love for him on this show. If he wins the world title this year, I'd be absolutely delighted, and he also should. He
And that's
should win
all
the
you need
world
to
title this
sell
year.
this feud. Like it's that simple. Oba is a freak of nature. Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature. Show them being freaks of nature, and that's good enough. Like that is all you need. You don't need to make it complicated.
And
But
that's
it
all they've
seems they
done.
forgot that with everything else. They've tried to
Like,
overcomplicate it, try and make it meta but not meta, and it's like, ugh, just stop.
if you if you want another point on Cody feud as well, which annoys me even more, the way that Randy turned heel. Obviously, we all knew that one of them would turn heel. We all knew it was likely going to be Randy, right? The way that Randy turned heel was really good.
Hmm.
It was really good. It was well sold by Cody. It was really good, and it would make you watch that and go, "Oh, okay, well, this feud just got interested," and then you ruined it. You gave him this amazing heel turn. This. I think the Steph coming out and warning Cody thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's cringe. It's cringe." I think it was fine because if you remember that peak Randy Orton heel that came to Triple H's house and that all that sort of stuff, and who punt kicked Stephanie and all that, like that's like prime heel Randy Orton. If you're telling the
Yeah.
audience this is what Randy Orton's going to be again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's not happened, has it? You lent into it a little bit. You sort of teased that we were going to get peak Randy Orton heel again, and then went, "Oh, here's Pat McAfee," and it's
Yeah,
like,
this is a Pat
it,
McAfee versus Cody Rhodes feud with Randy Orton. It's like,
I forgot
why did they?
Randy Orton's become
Why did they
forgettable.
make this the feud?
That's genuinely
It
so
genuinely
frustrating.
baffle him.
Like it bothers me so much because that's your night one main event that, in my opinion, you've completely ruined. Because even if they go and have an absolute banger of a match, and Randy wins, which he should, right? Randy wins the match and he's holding the title over Cody at the end, and Pat McAfee's or whatever. People will care less. If Randy, I tell you how you ended that match, right? And not a single wrestling fan will disagree with what I'm about to say. You have Randy win the title by punt kicking Cody Rhodes. That's how you do it. Without Pat, you have them have a really good match because they're both capable of a really good match. You have them have a really good match, and then Randy wins it by punt kicking him because he's teased that so many times over the years. It got banned. It's this move that you're not allowed to do. It was peak Randy Orton heel. He's not been in that place forever, and then have him win by doing it instantly, instantly becomes your biggest heel in the company by far, and he's Pete Randy Orton again. And we've been robbed of that. He might still win that way. But if he does, it's not as impactful with Pat McAfee just over his shoulder yapping.
Yeah,
So it's just
it almost feels like they're running back the Cena things. It didn't go the way that they wanted it to go, and they still think the idea is good. Of just this like this person that everyone kind of loves is now a heel again, or just a heel in general. And you want like this like f- mainstream popularity kind of person to be by their side to like essentially big them up.
we're not shitting on Pat, right? I like him a lot as a
I
commentator.
actually think his promos have been genuinely his work. I actually think has been some of the best work on the shows.
He's
everything
done
going on.
really well. It's not him that's the problem. It's the fact that he's involved in this match that's the problem. Everything that he's
Yeah,
been
it's the
asked to
core
do, he
idea
has
is
done
just
really
so
well.
innately stupid as shit. It just doesn't work or make sense.
I'm not shitting on the people. I mean, this is what this podcast come across. Other than like people that I don't think should be involved in the card, I'm not shitting on the people. I'm not even shitting on people like Speed, right? He's been given a platform. He's been offered a lot of money to come be on WrestleMania and stuff. Obviously, you're going to say yes. And as much as I hate Logan Paul, that's also what he's been given. They've given him a contract. They've treated him like a WWE superstar. He now is a WWE superstar, right? I can't blame him for taking that, of course. But I think to all the people that the loads of wrestlers that get released every year that they didn't do enough with, I think about like all these scenarios where it's just like, surely it could have been someone else. Like, surely you could have done more and had people that actually cared on the card, people that actually didn't get their WrestleMania paycheck this year. It's not the same as it used to be. I know that they're all very well paid, but like, it's that's the bit that grinds me a lot, and it's really frustrating. I know it happened back in the day. I know there was celebrity matches and stuff back in the day. I'm not saying there wasn't, but you want to use the most iconic examples. It matters who the person is. Mike Tyson being the referee for Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin made it very iconic, right? Having Floyd Mayweather against the Big Show was a genius idea because Floyd Mayweather's a little guy and the Big Show's 7 feet tall and massive. That was interesting to people, right? There's way they've not always done celebrities well, by the way, but there are good examples where celebrities are good and in place. In the first couple of WrestleManias, they were genuinely worried that they wouldn't sell it out. They were genuinely worried it wouldn't be popular. And if it wasn't popular, it would have ruined the company. It was a genuine concern. So they got celebrities involved to sort of sell tickets and stuff, which fine. But that's not you anymore. You don't need to do this. And you don't need for Raw and SmackDown to be full of ads, which that's the common world, that's fine, whatever, I understand that. Have random appearances by people like Jelly Roll. Again, I don't have an issue with these people. It's just why is Jelly Roll taking up so much TV time? Like, why is I Show Speed taking up so much TV time? And you've got wrestlers that were trying to get over that can't even get on the card anymore. It just every second on WWE television is important, and then wasting too much time on those in those like moments and stuff. And it just all rubs me up the wrong way. And I just think in 5 years, like the Kenny Omega thing, when he said the WrestleMania main event to be Mr. Beast versus Logan Paul at one point, is he wrong? Do we see a point where Logan Paul against another celebrity is the main event of a WrestleMania?
I
Probably.
mean, yeah, it's not. No, it's not happening. Don't.
Why though? But you're saying it's not happening. Why is
No,
it not? Why would that not happen?
because dog, they've always done. I don't know. I just feel like it's not gotten worse. I just feel like it's always been like this. I think the issue with this mania in particular is just everything's underperforming or just like a bad idea. Like I think this card with just the tiniest tweaks would be insane. Like actually goat levels. Like the Vision versus the Usos. Take
Yeah,
out
leave
LA
it
Knight.
there.
Make I Show Speed just like a guest on the outside. Done. You don't need to get him. You don't need to have him in the match. Like just have it be for the titles, and just have it be that, and it's fine.
That's another point. This isn't for the titles either, is it?
No, they've taken away the tag team title like match to have it be this weird LA Knight I Show Speed like inclusion. They just wanted LA Knight on the card, and I Show Speed's popular, so they fucking threw him in there as well. And it's like, brother,
It's probably exactly what happened. Yeah.
yeah, it's like just stop overcooking because it just ruins it.
If you wanted LA on the card, you could have just put him in the IC title match. But they don't want to do that because too many people are going to want him to win, and he won't win. And then when he doesn't win, people get really pissed off.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's like,
I'm not saying that the fact they're doing a ladder match for the IC title, by the way, complete credit to them because I think they should. I think the IC title should always be a ladder match every
yeah,
Mania. because that's exactly what you should be doing. That's absolutely. Look, I don't think night two has been booked badly at all. Night one, I have my questions over. Some of it's fine, some of it's bad. Night two, if I read that out, let's say I didn't know any of the bits before, I didn't know any of the build up to matches. If I read the card wrestler for wrestler, I'd be like, that's a good card. I don't disagree with that point.
I think
But
the same goes for night one, other than just the occasional like, it's the whiffs and the ands that are
it's the
the
wibs
issue.
and the ands. Yes, it is the wibs and the ands. But the wibs and the ands matter because they are going to be there.
Yeah,
And it does taint it. Like you could have had the Rock
everything's
versus
so
Roman
close to being
Reigns.
really good, and it's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, th- I can't remember the last time I felt so deflated before WrestleMania.
Mm.
I just don't feel a lot of excitement towards it. And we might watch the show, and I'll be the first to our first recording after WrestleMania, whenever that is. I'll be the first to admit if it's a good show. I'm not going to sit here and shit all over it. If it's I'm fair. I'm not going to be like, oh, it was a terrible show, even if it wasn't. But yeah, if it is exactly what I think it's going to be, yes, I will be critical of it because I will sit there after and go, that was not worth the investment of my time putting into this. But not just me, but it's not worth. You just wasted your biggest event of the year because you were chasing the clout and the money too much, which is understandable in a sense. I understand business. I'm not like I'm being like, oh, they should just care about wrestling. It should only be proper wrestlers in these matches, and every match on the card should just be proper wrestlers. And I'm not saying that. I'm not unreasonable. WWE have always done it. It's just the way it's been done this year has really rubbed me up the wrong way, and I hope that we come out of this. And Triple H has had a lot of criticism that I don't think is fair. When we talked about the IWC last episode, he's had so much criticism that isn't fair. He has done a lot right. It's not like he does everything wrong like everyone says he does. He does do things right. It's just when they whiff, they're awful. They're really bad. It's not just a little fuck up, it's a massive problem and it's genuinely awful. And that's what annoys me the most. But this is the longest episode we've done probably since we interviewed someone. So,
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll just let me leave it with one last thing then,
mhm,
and I think it's as simple as this: shows that are underwhelming are far less annoying than shows that are really cool but underperform. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. This isn't a boring card. These aren't boring matches. These
no.
aren't boring feuds. They are all just underperforming. And because of that, it just feels shit. It feels like we should be getting something insane, but instead we're getting slop. And that's what feels so bad, I think, about this Mania. It's just not quite hitting the marks it should be hitting.
Which reflects on showing that that's my opinion. It reflects on the ticket sales. It reflects on
Mm,
all these things that you're going to see come out. The analytics of the show that are going to be much lower than normal. It's where it's at the minute, and we're watching it as fans because we always have since we were kids, and I probably will always watch WWE regardless. But there are the frustrations. But thank you for listening. If you're still here at this point, God bless you. We're 49 minutes into this nearly. If you're still here at this point, then you are a real one. So thank you for that. Carl, any last words that maybe aren't about wrestling or just in general? Any last words?
live your life to the fullest.